Okay, I'm doing the weekly numbers for last week. It's Tuesday, April 29th, but this is for the numbers ending on Sunday. So I did 4 loads. 3 of them were park models. One of them was a travel trailer that was like 37 feet. So all pretty big trailers. It's the first week with the new pricing that we're getting more money for the triaxles and the park models, and then also more money for anything that's GVWR over 10,000 pounds. So the one big travel trailer was the GVWR over 10,000, and then the 3 park models get park model pay. I took 2 to Slinger, Wisconsin. I took 1 to Madison, Wisconsin. Those were the park models. And then I took one, the travel trailer, up to La Crosse, Wisconsin. So that was the farthest one. I don't have the individual payments in front of me. I didn't write those down, but I have the total. So the total for the 4 loads paid $2,638. And I spent $593.78 on fuel. That also includes my fuel for running around at home, and then I had one day where I was towing my work trailer around. So, some of that could technically come off because it's for personal use and for my business, but for the numbers, I'm just going to say $593.78. I spent $240 on tolls, which is a lot. I don't know why I spent so much, but some of that is also I had to run around for my business, so I was spending money on tolls that day as well. And then I think, there's some tolls would have went in for like my wife's vehicle and stuff like that, because she was driving on the highway this week a little bit. So it's probably under 200 if you really factored in, like, taking out what my wife spent and what I spent for my business, but we'll call it the 240 just for numbers. And then I take out 30 a week for insurance and 100 a week for maintenance. So as far as maintenance goes, I didn't do any maintenance, I guess you could say. I did have my bumper resprayed, and that was $500. And just a car wash for $8. But that just goes into that $100 a week I take out for maintenance. So I did obviously blow through the entire maintenance budget for the month getting that work done, but it's not something that is normal maintenance per se, I guess. So maybe that shouldn't even come out of the maintenance budget, but I'm gonna call it what it is. We're gonna take it out of the maintenance budget. So that sucks. Someone's getting pulled over. Anyways, overall, it leaves me with $1,674.21 as my net. So just under $1,000 in expenses. The big hitter was the fuel at $593.78 and the tolls at $240. Everything else was pretty is the same, because every week I take out the 30, I take out the 100. So I just spent more on fuel, more on tolls, but again, it's probably less than that because I was running around for my business, racking up tolls, racking up fuel. Same thing with my wife, on the highway, her iPass is connected to my business account, so it deducts for that as well. But you could probably add another $100 back on and really say I was at, call it $1,775 is more likely my net, with those other expenses not accounted for. But I will say you do burn more fuel pulling the big trailers, especially the park models. So there's that factors into it. And that was the reason why they, increased the pay on them. A lot of it was because people weren't taking them because we were getting the same money pulling that versus, another trailer, a travel trailer. So you should get compensated because you have to drive slower. It takes more time. Those deliveries typically take me like another hour. So you want to get compensated for that hour, and then best I've seen is 9 miles to a gallon pulling a park model. That's with conditions being like perfect. If I'm pulling even a 37-foot travel trailer, I'm getting above 10, probably between 10 and 11. Give me a 30-footer, I'm probably getting 12, and maybe even higher. I've seen them above 13 with some mid-20s, 25-foot travel trailers. So, for me, if they're not going to pay more for any of us, really, it makes more sense to grab the small unit. You're going to get there faster. You're going to burn less fuel, so you got more money in your pocket on the load. So, but yeah, 4 days. I was about 2,600 miles on the truck, and as far as time goes, I was right at 40 hours. Again, that goes into like it would have been less had I not had park models and big trailers and stuff like that, because I would have been able to go a little faster. The park model that I pulled on Sunday, because of the wind, there was a period of time, I think it was the one on Sunday, it might have been on Friday. Either way, there was some time that I couldn't get above 55 miles an hour, which, if you're pulling like a 25-footer and you're going 70 versus 55, that adds some time for sure. And then if you have to stop for fuel twice versus once, now you're adding 15-20 minutes at least, probably. So definitely, I obviously made more, but can't really say this was a part-time week. This was more full-time than anything. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should I keep pulling these big park models, or is the extra $63 for a run not worth it? Some of them are paying more like 75, 80 more. The further I go, the more it pays, because it's all based on mileage. But when I'm going 250 miles from Elkhart or Middlebury, it's only going to be about $63 increase to pull a park model versus a travel trailer. So again, let me know what you think in the comments. If you think $2,638 gross was decent for a 40-hour week, and call it $1,775 net. So really, was $1,775 a decent net pay for a 40-hour work week? Would be what you want to look at. If your answer is yes, then maybe RV transport would be the right industry for you. If your answer is no, that's outrageous, you shouldn't be doing that, then RV transport probably is not for you. But I'd be interested to hear what you think in the comments. If you like these videos, definitely follow the channel and give the video a like.